Yeah, what's up, everybody? It is your Smackdown post-show for Friday, March 12th, 2021. Tonight on the show, Kevin Owens makes his return, Reginald gets a new suit, and Andrade asks for his release from the WWE. Let's do it. Hey, I'm Dave. What's up, everybody? How you doing? How you feeling? How you been? How's Johnny? Cut the music. What's up, Johnny?
I'm pretty good right now. We're getting gyms back March 26th, so things are good.
Oh, the gyms are opening back up in this province March 26th? That's how you're going to start the show? It's a wrestling show. We're going to recap SmackDown. You're going to throw me off right away? That's how you do it, eh, John? I ask you how you're doing. I figure you're doing pretty good because you saw a good episode of SmackDown. But Johnny's talking politics right off the bat. Johnny's trying to bring it personal right off the bat. So selfish, John, talking about the gyms and your own personal satisfaction. All right. Well, we can't turn it into
wrestling. Goes together.
Yes, I agree. I agree 100%. You are a pro wrestler. You do need to go to the gym. How you feeling? How are those biceps looking? Still jacked? You got a bench press, right? You need the gym? Are you missing it?
I mean, you can only do so much, and then you really need to change up a little bit, and it's been a while, so yeah, it's needed.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you got the gyms back. We're here to talk about SmackDown and everything that happened there. I guess you could go to Johnny's Twitter and follow his thoughts on everything else going on at North Genesis. Shout out to the members, Craig Paquette. Hello, Craig. Douglas Hepburn, what's up to you, my man? Shout out to the members. Don't forget to become a member of the channel. Don't forget to like this video. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. If you're not going to become a member, the least you could do is subscribe. We appreciate you. You know what I mean? We want you to subscribe. It helps us. Liking the video helps us. Becoming a member obviously helps us. If you become a member of the YouTube channel, if you go to donate.ringsidereport.net, you want to buy some of our cool merch, see this mug that I'm drinking out of right now? You could buy this mug. You could have it yourself. I got to say, I really like it. Merch.ringsidereport.net. Look at this. What a nice mug. Merch.ringsidereport.net. Go get it. Go get it right now. All right, it's got my face on it. It's got AJ's face on it. Patrick C. Hamilton is a member. He's in the chat. What's up, Patrick? And shout out to everybody else watching us, too. Bob, Lorne, all the regulars. I see you. Matthew the Magician wants to know if Edge is a heel or a face. I'm not sure. Johnny North seems to feel like he is a babyface. Felt a little heelish. 100%. Felt a little heelish to me tonight. Little bit. Getting in my man Daniel Bryan's face. And that's how the show started off. I thought SmackDown tonight may have stolen the week of Wrestling Show of the Week. It was good. It might have been better than Dynamite this week. For the first time in a long time, this was close to being as good as Dynamite, if not better. What do you think?
I mean, it's tough to say because the matches, I mean, there were good matches, but was there anything like that blew you away in terms of matches? Like, I think that things were just good, but nothing was like amazing good, So like there was no like match of the week came from SmackDown, But it was a solid show start to finish. So you could say maybe from bell to bell, like from the start of the show to the end of the show, maybe it was the better show, but
yeah,
I still find Darby Allin, Scorpio Sky was still my favorite match of the week.
You are correct. I agree with you 100%. I do think that was still the match of the week. But as far as, beginning to end 2-hour wrestling program or 3-hour wrestling program of the week, SmackDown was pretty good. Pretty good. And that's saying a lot when I'm saying that it's up there with Dynamite, because usually Dynamite, it might not be the best show I've ever seen, but it's usually the runaway best wrestling show of the week, right? But this week, I thought SmackDown did a really good job, and that job started off with an excellent promo by two of the very best in the business, two of the very best to ever do it, Edge and Daniel Bryan. I thought the promo was fantastic. Edge comes in the ring, starts talking about choosing Roman Reigns and acknowledging him as his opponent for WrestleMania. Edge says Roman getting detoured by Daniel Bryan. He's getting played by Daniel Bryan. Edge talks about Bryan and his promo last week where he said that he loves this more because he's wrestled more times in the last 3 months than Edge and Roman Reigns combined, and that he deserves to be in the main event of WrestleMania more than Edge. And then Edge reminding us all of the countless matches that he had in the prime of his career when he was a full-time wrestler against, of course, legendary figures. And I liked how he started it off with, like, you know, guys you would expect, like John Cena, Randy Orton, The Undertaker, Batista, and then he delved off into, like, the deep cuts. Mr. Perfect, British Bulldog, Terry Funk. Like, the name drops that Edge was dropping there, he did that for a reason. He was saying, you know, okay, Bryan, you may have been around Taker, you may have wrestled Batista and Orton and Cena and all these guys, but were you ever in the ring with Mr. Perfect? Did you ever work Terry Funk? Did you ever work the British Bulldog? No, I have, because I've been around here longer than you, and I'm Edge, and I'm the man. I thought that was really cool and a really smart way to do it. And Edge says, look, I've been there, I've done that. I'm not here because I have to be here. I'm here because I love this. Saying he loves this more than Bryan, even. Daniel Bryan shows up, says Edge, you know, affected by the promo last week, says, you know, Bryan expected Edge as the ultimate opportunist to appreciate Bryan going into business for himself last week, taking the opportunity, cutting that promo. Bryan says he respects Edge very much, talks about how much he respects him and how much he loves this business, and he respects that and the love and how hard Edge fought back to get to this. He has all the respect in the world for Edge, and it's not about Edge. It's about Bryan himself feeling demoralized when he saw Edge spear Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber, and he realized that he was an afterthought in the WWE. He was an afterthought at WrestleMania in what could be his last WrestleMania ever. He realized in that moment that he could no longer put himself on the back burner. He could no longer put others over himself. He could no longer try to put others over before himself. He could no longer be the guy that helps Chad Gable or helps Otis or helps Drew Gulak or helps whoever to get over. He's got to be in it for himself because this might be his last go-round at WrestleMania. And by God, if this is his last WrestleMania, he should main event it. And that's why he's got to beat Roman Reigns at Fastlane, and that's why he's got to become the champion so he can main event WrestleMania, because this might be his last shot. And that's why he had to go into business for himself. And I think that there's an element of truth to that, and we'll get to it as we break this promo down. But Edge replied very well, says Roman beat him at Elimination Chamber. Regardless of how it went down, a loss is a loss, which I thought was a heel thing to say by Edge, being like, oh, Roman beat you at Chamber. Yeah, well, Bryan just won the Elimination Chamber, and Roman showed up right after the match. That wasn't a fair fight, Edge. Why do you take that as a victory for Roman Reigns? And Edge says, look, I won the Royal Rumble. You were in the Royal Rumble. You didn't win the Royal Rumble, Daniel Bryan. Now you're getting in my way. And Edge, with the line of the night, he says, I like you, Bryan, but I don't like how you went about this. And you're better than this, but you're not better than me. And then drops the mic, on this day. Tremendous. Music plays. Edge walks out. Bryan kind of stares at Edge. They do a little half smile, half angry face to each other. Mwah, beautiful promo. Beautiful. That's how you open up a show. Two characters that you're invested in, doing a promo that you haven't heard before, advancing a story. Both guys felt real in what they were saying. There felt like there was an element of truth, of shootiness to what Daniel Bryan was saying about, I've been kind of on the back burner for a while, and this might be my last WrestleMania, and I don't want to be in some Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I want to be in the main event, and I'm going to try my hardest to push myself and to politic and do whatever the hell I have to do to get myself there. And Edge, I'm sorry if you thought that this was your fairy tale. You come back and win the Royal Rumble, and you have to face Roman Reigns because he's the guy, and if you want to wrestle anybody at Mania, it would be the guy, Roman Reigns. Sorry, Edge. The whole WWE doesn't revolve around you. There's other people that are important in this company, other people that are important to professional wrestling, and those other people are called Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan deserves to main event WrestleMania. And I'm with him 110%. And when he kneed Edge in the head to end the show tonight, I said, hell yeah, Daniel Bryan. You get that bastard. You get him. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And I want Daniel Bryan to be inserted into this match. He deserves it. He's earned it. He's the man. He is the very best wrestler in the world today. And I don't care what Edge did in the 90s. He did it. He succeeded off of it. His run as champion in the 2000s with Cena and all that stuff, that was his compensation for all the hard work that he did in the 90s being a mid-carder. Okay, you got your time in the main event. You got your main events of WrestleMania. Right now, you're just a 50-year-old part-timer stealing the spotlight from guys that work hard day in, day out, that are the real best in the business today, that deserve it more than you, like Daniel freaking Bryan. The man in his prime. Might be heading into his last Mania, not because he can't wrestle anymore, but because he's going to leave the company if they don't treat him properly. He's gone. He's walking. He's all elite, unless you play ball with Daniel Bryan. This is CM Punk going to Chicago against John Cena. This is Daniel Bryan walking out on the company. This is his last Mania. He's not playing when he says this, John. What are you laughing at over there, Johnny? What are you laughing at?
He's all elite. That's hilarious.
You like that? Hey, well, look, if they don't give him a contract that he likes, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, I know you never expect anybody to go to AEW. You were the guy who said Kenny Omega was going to go to the WWE even when AEW already existed. So I know you're not going to come and say, oh, Daniel Bryan for sure is going to go to AEW. But let's just put all the cards on the table. His contract runs out this year. He's talking about having a more part-time schedule in wrestling. And he's also saying at the same time, this might be his last WrestleMania. If you want to work part-time in professional wrestling and you work for WWE, one of those dates is going to be WrestleMania. And last I checked, AEW is a part-time company. You work once a week. Actually, you work 2 days a week every 2 weeks, depending on their taping schedule. But usually it's like, 2 days and then you go home for a couple weeks till they need you again. So don't tell me that AEW wouldn't be an appealing place for Daniel Bryan to go. He's friends with the Bucks. He's friends with Kenny. He could easily go there. Easily. Don't tell me he can't. Don't tell me that's impossible, especially when he's in a contract year. He has not re-signed with the company. That's a fact. I'm just dealing with the facts here. And the fact of the matter is, Edge is a nearly 50-year-old part-timer who I love dearly and respect dearly, but I love Daniel Bryan more right now. And, I mean, let's be honest, I don't want to disparage the good name of Edge. I'm trying to disparage the good name of Roman Reigns. Get him out of the main event of WrestleMania. I don't want to see him. My dream match isn't Edge versus Roman, it's Edge versus Bryan. That's the real dream match here, people. I don't know what you guys are watching wrestling for, but I watch wrestling for good wrestling matches between two legends and Hall of Famers. Dream matches that you've never seen before between two of the greatest to ever do it. Not, the modern day John Cena against opponent X. I mean, that's what WWE does, so hey, it is what it is. But it's also WrestleMania. How are they going to figure out a way to get the wrestle out of WrestleMania? If they could call it Entertainment Mania, they would, by God. But it's WrestleMania. And at WrestleMania, I like to see wrestling matches. And Roman Reigns, is fine. He's a B-plus player in the ring, solid B-plus. But Daniel Bryan and Edge are A-plus in-ring wrestlers. A-plus. That's who I want to see wrestle for the top championship in the game. Not a solid B-plus like old Joey Anoa'i over there. No, thank you. It's not what I come to see. I come to see good wrestling with good wrestlers. Not Roman Reigns' slow, methodical fucking shit that he does. So give Bryan the belt. I mean, I don't expect it to happen, but this is what you do when talent isn't treated properly. This is what happens. Andrade's walking. Aleister Black's asking for his release. They got nothing for those guys. Look at all the talented wrestlers in the WWE. The best wrestlers in the company have jack shit going for them for WrestleMania. If Daniel Bryan doesn't win the title at Fastlane, he's got nothing for Mania. Other than maybe a Seth Rollins match that no one will give a shit about. What's AJ Styles doing at WrestleMania? What's Sami Zayn doing at WrestleMania? What's Kevin Owens doing at WrestleMania? What's Cesaro doing at WrestleMania? What are the best wrestlers in this company actually doing at Mania? What are Woods and Kofi doing at Mania? Any plan, any big idea for some of the most talented guys you have in the company? Or are you too focused on Miz and Drew McIntyre to pay attention on anybody that's actually entertaining? Are you too focused on Roman Reigns to pay attention for a storyline for AJ Styles? I know there's only so much time in the day, and Vince has long-ass days because he's not sleeping, but apparently 0% of that day is spent thinking about, what do we do with AJ Styles, pal? Forget that. What do we do with Jey Uso? What do we do with The Miz? Let's find a spot for The Miz. He's an important part of this company. Everybody wants to watch him on TV. He's a big ratings draw. He's helped the company elevate to new heights. He's brought wrestling to new heights over the past several years. What a great champion. What a great wrestler. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is what they do to us, John.
You believe that they're just going to suddenly change direction here and not have Roman Reigns in the main event? You want that, clearly.
Mm-hmm. Double main event. 2 nights. That's how you solve it. 2 nights. Double main event. You do whoever's champion, Roman or whatever, or I would honestly give the belt to Bryan. No, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. But I would do some sort of double, like have Edge wrestle them both. Like have Bryan walk into Mania as champion. Okay? Have him beat Roman at Fastlane. And then on night 1 at WrestleMania, you have as one of the matches or as the show closer, whatever you want to do, Bryan versus Edge for the Universal Championship. And the winner goes on to defend on night 2 against Roman Reigns. So you keep Roman as a special attraction. You give us the dream match that we want on night 1. You get the title on Edge. And then you have him defend it the next night against Roman. And you build that anticipation. I mean, that match right away, like, no matter what for Edge and Bryan on night 1, when you have Roman looming on night 2, you're nervous for whoever's coming out out of night one as the champion because well, it's Roman here. They might just give it back to Roman, right? That way, you do Edge and Bryan, which is a match that I think everybody would like. You give it to us, and then you still get to do Edge and Roman at Mania. I think that's how you play it out. Because I'm looking at the WrestleMania card and what's possible. Like, they're going to throw a bunch of filler out there and, fine. But they don't have that much going for them. And it's 2 nights. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to double book. Do a Universal title match on both nights. Do a WWE title match on both nights, too. You could do Bobby and Drew one night, and then, winner fights Sheamus or something. Or, you do Bobby and Drew one night, and then you do Sheamus versus Keith Lee on night 1, and then the winner faces the winner on night 2, something like that, Or if you can get Brock, do Bobby Drew night 1, winner faces Brock night 2, something like that. Or screw it, don't do 2 WWE title matches. Just do 2 Universal title matches. Doesn't really matter. Right? Doesn't matter. There's a million titles. Who cares? Just give us the matches we want to see at WrestleMania. It's a 2-night card. Because otherwise, what do you really do with Daniel Bryan? Other than, a match with Seth at Mania that no one cares about that'll have 0 build? 0 build. Right? Because Mania is 5 weeks away. So, if you do Seth and Bryan, Seth Cesaro isn't even official yet. Seth and Cesaro keep doing their thing, but they're not doing anything. They don't have a match booked. Nothing's official. And Mako says Bryan would look weak dropping the title right away. I don't think so. If he beats Roman Reigns clean at Fastlane, if he loses to Edge at Mania, I don't think that, there are worse ways to look in WWE than beating Roman. If he can beat him. Or maybe he beats him with some sort of deal with Edge. And that's the other thing that happened tonight at SmackDown. So they have this great promo to begin the show. Skip to the end. I guess Edge and Jey Uso had a little interaction backstage. Jey Uso runs into Paul Heyman backstage. Heyman doesn't want to let Jey Uso into Roman's locker room because Roman's still mad that Jey tapped out to Bryan last week. Jey says he'll go do some stuff and come back, and Heyman's like, yeah, Roman will be happy when you come back. Eventually, they seem to be all right. Edge was talking to Jey Uso backstage, trying to convince him, to be his own man, saying, when in 2015 I saw you wrestle with your brother, and it was such a great match and it inspired me to come back, and I don't know what you're doing right now with Roman Reigns being his subordinate. I've known you for a long time. What would your dad think about this? And Jay's like, look, Edge, don't talk to me like you know me. At WrestleMania, you may enjoy my work, but at WrestleMania, you're not going to enjoy anything because Roman Reigns is going to whoop your ass. And then he walks away. So Jey Uso, despite being, kind of whipped around by Roman, he's still firmly behind Roman Reigns. Firmly believes in his cousin Roman. So then we have the final segment with Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Paul Heyman coming to the ring for a contract signing. Daniel Bryan's there. Adam Pearce is the moderator. Roman tells Pearce to move his chair to the head of the table. Because, any table Roman goes to, he's got to move his chair to the head of the table. Roman never goes to a restaurant where, at a McDonald's where, the chairs are attached to the table. Roman won't do that because he can't sit at the head of those tables. So he refuses to enter those places. He only... isn't that a little dumb? He sits down for the contract signing. He's like, no, I have to sit over here. I sit here at the table. I'm Roman. The head of the table. It's a gimmick, get it? Every table he sits at, he's got to sit at the head of the table. It's a little stupid. Anyways, they have to dumb it down. So he sits at the head of the table. He tells Daniel Bryan that he's not going to sign the contract because Bryan doesn't deserve a title match. But didn't Bryan win the match last week? Doesn't Roman have to sign the contract? Anyways, Bryan's like, oh, Roman, you must be afraid. Which, in WWE world, that always gets you the match that you want, right? You got to call your opponent scared or tell them he has no balls, and you always get it. Brian says for years a lot of people have thought that that he was better than Roman Reigns. And Brian says that he also thought that he was better than Roman Reigns, but Roman never believed that because Roman has great self-confidence, which I thought was great because, yeah, of course, everybody thinks Daniel Bryan's better than Roman Reigns. I mean, I guess some people don't, but I sure do. John, do you think Daniel Bryan's better than Roman Reigns?
Not right now, no.
What?
I don't know. Roman Reigns all the way. I can't wait for him to destroy Daniel Bryan at the pay-per-view.
Why? You like watching Roman Reigns over Daniel Bryan. What is the matter with you?
Roman Reigns is like the best thing going right now in WWE.
Blah. Not in the ring.
Roman's
not
amazing.
Once that bell rings. Once that bell rings,
No,
it all
Roman's
goes to
have good
shit.
matches.
What?
We've seen him have good matches.
When Kevin Owens carries his ass, how are his matches with Jey Uso?
I think he's going to have a great match with Edge.
Ugh. I think Roman is just mediocre in the ring. Like I said, he's a solid B-plus player. He's fine, but is he great in the ring? Is he a great in-ring performer? I'd say no. I'd say he's solid. He's fine. He's passable. He's got potential for greatness in certain instances, I suppose. But, you know, is he an AJ Styles or a Daniel Bryan in the ring? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I don't know what you're talking about, Roman Reigns. Ugh. So, I think Roman's pretty boring. Johnny seems to love him. Likes him more than he likes Daniel Bryan right now, which is shocking. A little unsettling. I don't really see what you see in Roman. What are you smiling at? Huh? What's going on over there?
What don't you see in Roman? What don't you see in Roman?
I don't even think you believe what you're saying, John. I think you're just saying this to get me mad. I don't even believe you.
It is helpful. I enjoy that, getting you mad about it, but
there you go. See, you're lying.
A fact.
No, it isn't.
No, it's a fact.
You're entertained by Roman Reigns?
100%. Again, Roman's one of the best things going right now. I mean, maybe Randy Orton might be a bit better, but Randy's story kind of sucks right now.
What do you like in wrestling? What is the matter with you? You like these old-timey style wrestlers with very boring styles that don't do much of anything. That's what you like. Lumbering.
No, I like guys that take their time. Yeah, no question about it. But in the end, it pays off.
Snoozer. Big snoozer.
Randy Orton's the best wrestler, but he doesn't have the best story. Roman Reigns has the best story right now.
Oh, I could not ever see either of them ever again. Like, I'm good with never seeing either of them. I'm done with both of them. Way done. Ugh. So boring, these guys. So, Brian gets into Roman's face trying to get him to sign a contract. He's like, I'm the head of the table now, Roman. I'm the self-proclaimed head of the table. And Roman gets really mad. Don't call yourself the head of the table. Don't do that. Roman's such an idiot. The Roman character's so stupid. How do you like this? He's not believable. I'm the head of the table. I have to sit here. He's like a baby. I have to sit at the head of every table because I call myself the head of the table. It's a fucking symbolic thing. You really have to sit at the head of every table, you fucking man-child? When Daniel Bryan's like, I'm the head of the table, Roman, what are you going to do about it? Roman gets legit mad? What a fucking moron character this is. How do you like this? He comes off like such a dummy. Oh, I have to sit here. Move my chair out of Pierce. Like, again, he's intimidating, and he's a cocky heel, and he's the guy that WWE's given everything to, and he's playing that up, and he does a decent job at it, but there's a lot of shit that the character does where I'm like, the fuck is that? He gets Stop saying you're the head of the table. You're not head of the table. That's me. Roman mad. Fuck, man. It's dumb. Like, he reacts like a total fucking child. Like he's 3 years old. Fucking goofy-ass Roman Reigns. I'm the head of the table, not you. Who reacts like that? What grown man reacts like that? What grown man, as his gimmick, is like, yeah, I'm the head of the table? I mean, that's cool. Yeah, I'm head of the table. Captain of the family. Whatever the fuck. But then he literally has to sit at the head of every table that he sits at just to, like, prove a point. Well, I sit at the head. What if somebody else is sitting there already, Roman? You're going to be like, move. I sit here. Roman sits here. Because you're such a baby, you can't sit anywhere else at a table? Like, imagine that in a real-life situation. You're in a room. People are sitting around a table. Somebody you know shows up. And they're like, no, I have to sit here. This is my spot. I sit here. That's my seat. You slapped the shit out of them. You're like, get the fuck out of here. What's wrong with you? What are you, a child? Go sit over there. Fucking Roman. He's such an idiot. How do you like that? What's likable about that character? Tonight he looked like a total dumbass. So stupid. I sit here. Move my chair, Adam Pearce.
I enjoyed it. I like that he gets mad. I like that, he shows that he is the head of the table, that he needs that spot. It means something to him. And I know people that actually react like that. And you know people that react like that. You may not like them, but he is the heel in the situation. So
I know people that act like that. I don't know anybody. I don't know any grown man that would act like that.
Well, I know people that would act like that. So
well, they have serious mental issues. Like, there's a problem there. If you have to sit at a certain spot at a table and you pitch a fit when you can't get your spot at the table, like, there's something wrong with you. You have serious issues.
A lot of
if you know people
like
that, John, status. There's no status of where you're sitting at a goddamn table. Status. Who the hell are you hanging out with? You're saying I know this person that you're talking about that would get mad if you sat at a wrong place at a table? Who are we talking about? AJ?
Well, maybe you don't. Well, no, AJ would not be like that. AJ actually would give you his spot.
Who are we talking about?
Actually.
I don't know anybody that would do that. I don't know anybody so infantile, so childish that would do that. I don't know any grown man, but Roman Reigns, big old Roman Reigns, world champion, he needs to sit at the head of the table because he's a big baby. It's just dumb. It's just a dumb thing. It's not believable. Again, it's the character's motivations that don't make sense. I get what they're doing. I get what they're trying to illustrate, but the character's motivations make no fucking sense. Always with the WWE. The characters, they don't fucking add up. What they want doesn't make sense. So, Roman gets all mad that Bryan called himself the head of the table, that he signs the contract. And Bryan's like, yeah, good. And I'm going to make you tap out just like I made Jey Uso tap out last week, which enrages Jey Uso. He tosses the table that they were signing the contract on out of the ring. And Roman's not mad about that. Hey, that was my table. I was sitting at the head of that table, Jey. Why'd you move it? Roman's cool with that. Or is he? Maybe next week you'll find out he's mad because he moved his table. Shouldn't he be mad at Jey for moving his table that he was sitting at the head at?
Well, because they had to bring in the other stipulation, though, so that was important.
Well, Roman didn't know that.
I feel like they knew they were going to try to trap Daniel Bryan, it seemed.
Didn't work. Didn't work at all because Jey says this match needs a special guest enforcer to make sure it's called down the middle. And I know who that's going to be. Me. And I was like, is this really happening right now? Or are they just going to allow Jey Uso to make himself the special enforcer? Because that would be very WWE, right? Just be like, yeah, he's declared himself the special enforcer, even though that makes the match totally unfair because he's obviously down on Roman's side. But then, no, they didn't do that, which was good. Edge came out and said, hey, why don't I have a match for the first time in 11 years on SmackDown. First SmackDown match in 11 years for Edge coming up next week. And it will be against Jey Uso, and the winner gets to be the special guest enforcer for the Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns match at Fastlane, which is interesting. And I think Edge is going to win, right? Like, Edge has to win because he's torn, right? He doesn't like Bryan. He doesn't like Roman. Edge has to win. Edge is going to be the enforcer. It's going to be interesting, special referee or whatever. Edge hits the ring after getting his match accepted by Adam Pearce. Edge attacks Roman. Daniel Bryan starts brawling with Jey Uso. Bryan knocks Uso out of the ring, goes to help help Edge punch Roman. Edge pushes Bryan out of the way. Edge punches Roman again. Roman bumps, rolls out of the ring. Edge turns around. Boom! Gets hit with Bryan's running knee, and Daniel Bryan stands tall to end SmackDown. That's how it's supposed to be. I like that.
Yeah, enjoy your 1 week. Your 1 week where Daniel Bryan gets the over.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't expect Daniel Bryan to ever win anything. I thought maybe he'd win the Rumble this year. I'm thinking maybe they'll give me Edge versus Bryan at Mania somehow. I'm thinking maybe Bryan has a chance at Fastlane. I know I'm wrong every time. I'm a Daniel Bryan fan since way back, okay? Since before the Yes Movement. Basically since his first day in the company when I saw him wrestle Chris Jericho, I was like, oh yeah, this guy. This is the man right here. This is the best wrestler in the company. And he was then, and he is now. Despite what Johnny North might think, Johnny's wrong. All right, Johnny?
Even though it's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, you're right about that. You're right about how they book things, but you're wrong about Daniel Bryan not being the best, because he is the best. But yeah, I mean, look, I've been a Daniel Bryan fan for so long, I know how this goes. He usually loses. They usually screw him some way. Like I'm seeing there, Bob Cote saying Edge will definitely screw Daniel Bryan over at Fastlane. Probably. Derek John saying Seth Cesaro will be at Mania. Seth Shinsuke at Fastlane. Where's Shinsuke, though? Haven't seen him.
Well, he had a confrontation. He just had a face-to-face with Seth.
He did?
He did, yeah.
Tonight?
Blank, you miss it. Yeah, it happened tonight.
When was this? How did I miss that?
This was after his beatdown on Cesaro. That happened.
Shinsuke came to the ring, or it was backstage?
Backstage.
Oh. Okay, I guess I missed that. Cesaro beat Murphy by disqualification when Seth Rollins attacked Cesaro. Barely a match there. Cesaro was swinging Murphy, about to do the swing, and Seth beat up Cesaro, long beat down, gave him the stomp, tried to put a chair on his head for another stomp, but then refs and agents showed up and stopped him. Cesaro was all wobbly on his feet after the attack. If Shinsuke cares so much about Seth Rollins, or about Cesaro, rather, why didn't he come help him?
Well, see, that's it. I don't think they were leading to that match right away. If anything, maybe it will be Seth against Shinsuke at WrestleMania. I feel like that's later on because they haven't really built that at all.
Right. That makes sense. I think Seth and Cesaro, you kind of got to do now because they've built it a ton, and like I said, there's not much booked for Fastlane, so why not throw that on there? Right now, we are a week away from Fastlane. Next Friday night, by the way, we'll do the whole Fastlane preview, and we will be on after Fastlane as we are on after every WWE pay-per-view. Roman versus Bryan, and Nia and Shayna versus Sasha and Bianca. Only 2 matches booked for Fastlane. Still. I was shocked after Raw that they hadn't booked a single Raw match for Fastlane, but damn, man. Another SmackDown in the books. There's only a week left to go before Fastlane. 1 Raw, 1 SmackDown. And there's only 2 matches booked. They're going to book the whole card on the Go Home show for Raw and SmackDown. Pretty sloppily put together, right? Pretty sloppy.
Well, you don't need a lot of matches. I mean, the pay-per-view will barely be 3 hours. So, I mean, what, you need like 4 more matches at most?
I guess. Seth Cesaro, Dirty Dogs versus Street Profits. SmackDown tag titles.
Right.
A match for the vacant Raw Women's title, perhaps?
Well, they got to figure out what they're going to do with that, like, period. Like, who's going to be in that match?
Asuka's hurt. Asuka has a concussion. We're wondering where Asuka has been. Last Raw in February, she took an accidental kick to the head from Shayna, and she got a concussion, and she is hurt, and there's questions as to whether or not Asuka will be ready for WrestleMania. And I think that's why Charlotte Flair was kind of like, well, you got to show me, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, if you're really worthy of a title shot at WrestleMania. And I was like, well, Charlotte's not the champion. Why is she kind of in that role of, like, prove to me your title shot? And I think it's because they might just give the title to Charlotte or something, because Asuka may not be able to defend it at WrestleMania, and they're definitely going to strip her of the title if she can't make it to Mania. So that's where Asuka's been. We've been wondering where she's been. She's got a concussion. Anybody wondering where Andrade's been? Andrade hasn't been on TV in a while. Aleister Black hasn't been on TV in a while. Apparently, they both want out of their contracts. Andrade has asked for his release from the WWE, apparently asked for it on Monday, and they have denied his request. Also, apparently, according to Dave Meltzer, they're denying Aleister Black's request to get his release as well. So they're not using them, and they're keeping them under contract, and they're not letting them go anywhere else. Which makes sense that they wouldn't want them to go anywhere else because they're valuable pieces of talent. But if they are so valuable to them, to you, WWE, why not use them? Seems pretty simple enough. If you like Andrade and you don't want him going anywhere, why not do something with him? If you like Aleister Black and you don't want him going anywhere, why not put him on TV and let him wrestle? Because if you don't, and just going to let them run out their contracts, I mean, that's kind of unnecessary. I don't know why they need to do that. I get that there's a lot of competition for wrestlers, and it would be like just handing AEW two great pieces of talent. But at the same time, it's not all about you and your war with AEW, whatever that is, if there is even a war with AEW. I mean, WWE's so big, I don't know. I don't know if they feel that they're at war, really. But I don't know. They don't want to let these guys go. Talented guys that they could use, but they're not using. Aleister Black, it seems like after the whole thing happened with his wife Zelina, you know, she wanted to stay on Cameo and Twitch and stuff, and WWE didn't want her to, and she stood her ground, and they fired her. And Aleister Black hasn't been seen on TV since. So there's got to be a deal there, but come on, you're going to punish the guy for that? I don't understand. The Andrade thing is even more baffling. I mean, he's engaged to Charlotte Flair. So his wife, girlfriend, is still on the roster, and she's got some stroke, you would think. She's a pretty big name in the company. And Andrade's not happy there, and he wants to leave. And I don't even know if Andrade would go to AEW. I mean, I think Mexico would probably just be where he goes, right? I don't know. He could definitely go to Mexico and make money. He could probably go to AEW and get a good contract too. Same with Aleister Black. But they're stuck under contract. Not the worst thing. They're going to get paid to do nothing. I mean, think about it that way, right? You get paid to not work. You rest your body, you eat catering, and you're making money. It could be worse, you know? Like, it could be worse. There are a lot of pro wrestlers, indie wrestlers that are just out of work with no money, no wrestling bookings at all. So they're not wrestling, but also not getting paid. At least in Andrade and Aleister Black's cases, they're getting paid. They just don't get to wrestle. I don't know. I think most people, like for wrestling fans, I think wrestling fans are selfish, and they're like, well, we want to see these guys wrestle. How come WWE's doing this to these guys? And I do get that point, and yes, I'm sure they want to wrestle, and if they're asking for their release, clearly they're unhappy and they'd like to go work somewhere else. But I think if you ask most people if they'd be okay with not working and getting paid for it, I think they'd be all right with that. Right, John?
Like you said, it's not the worst thing in the world, and WWE, it's in their best interest to hold on to them as long as possible, because the longer they're not on television, the easier it is for people to forget about them. So when they do come back under brand new names, people are going to be like, who the heck are these people?
So you're saying this is the smart move because they're icing them out and making them disappear?
Yeah, and WWE, again, it's in their best interest. Yeah. And they signed the contract, so that's on you.
This is what the WWE can do to people. They can disappear them. Apparently Peyton Royce cut a good promo this week, and she's tired of being,
I saw it.
She's tired of being on the shelf. She wants a match at Asuka. I saw who said that? Bob Cote, I think. I didn't see that promo. Was it good?
It was a good promo. The problem is, it's like, okay, Peyton Royce in the ring, though. I mean, you can't deliver that in the ring. That's the problem. You can deliver on the mic. She can talk, but in the ring, she's okay at best.
It's kind of like her husband. He cut Sean Spears, right? She's married to Sean Spears. He cuts these promos, and he's like, I'm never given the opportunity, and I should get this, and I should be this and that at AEW, and AEW is not giving me da-da-da-da. And then you see him in the ring, and you're like, yeah, all right. He's not bad, but he doesn't stand out among the rest. Kind of like his wife. Just saying.
He's on a lot more matches, though. It's a little bit different.
He might be a better wrestler than her, but like in the overall landscape of man wrestlers, he's kind of where she is in the overall landscape of lady wrestlers. Middle of the pack.
When he had his 10 thing going on, that could have been huge for him. You say but that was super over, though. Like, they should have done something with that.
I don't know. I think there's only so far you can say 10. There's only so much you could do with the number 10 before it gets a little stale and you have to move on. And he never moved on. It never got any further. And you could say, oh, WWE, they didn't do anything with Ty Dillinger and 10, could have done more. How's Sean Spears doing? How's he doing left up to his own devices? How's that been? How many times they repackaged this guy? Now he's back. Now he's one of MJF's goons. He's lower on the totem pole than Wardlow right now. And he worked for a WWE Sean Spears. He should be higher on the totem pole than a guy like Wardlow. Kip Sabian's a bigger star than he is. Come on now. No disrespect to our fellow Canadian, but let's be honest. Got to be honest here. Sean Spears is, solid B+. Solid B+. All right. Street Profits. Ray and Dominic beat Otis Gable and the Dirty Dogs. 8-man tag. Ray and Dominic hitting a double 619 on Gable. Dominic does a dive on Gable. Ray does a big dive on Otis. Almost lands on his head there. And Montez does a splash on Robert Roode to get the pinfall victory. Highlight of that was the Ray dive on Otis. That was pretty nasty. Nice one. What happened there?
Well, it's just I think he overjumped it. That's about it. But I thought the match was good, though. It was a solid match.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very good Very good match for SmackDown that you don't usually see too often. You need to see more of that. I find those matches, those tag matches, they're kind of pointless. They don't really have much rhyme or reason to them. This, like, I think the commercial break actually helped it. You actually build up to something in the end.
I liked it. I really liked it. I thought the 8-man tag was fantastic. I can't complain. I thought everybody did their job. Ray was really good in there. Otis is good. Gable's good. Dirty Dogs are good even. Street Profits had a nice performance there. Dominic was fine. It was a good match.
I did notice Dolph Ziggler, he did like a leg slap. I noticed on NXT there was leg slaps too. So I feel that whole like finding wrestlers for leg slaps, I think that may have been a bunch of BS.
Maybe, or maybe they're so used to it that it's hard to break the habit.
You see it like on almost every show still. Like, I mean, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Are you seeing it as much, you think? Maybe less?
It hasn't changed. Like, this just got introduced apparently, and like the week right after, boom, like NXT, SmackDown, I saw it.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what the whole leg slap deal is, if they're still doing it or not allowed to do it. We're doing fashion shows with Reggie, though. I mean, at least that's a highlight, right, John? I'm sure you love that. You love Roman Reigns. You must love Reginald.
Well, Reginald's the most exposed guy on the whole show, so of course they're going to run with Reginald like crazy.
What do you mean the most exposed?
I mean, did he not have the most segments on this show? I feel like he did. He had the shopping thing. He had the thing when they came out. I feel like there may have been another thing backstage as well.
Jey Uso had the most segments. Him
Not
or
by
Roman.
much, though. Reginald gets a lot of screen time.
Yeah, Reginald does get a ton of TV time, and he was on Raw this week. So don't forget about that, right? Reginald's all over the place. Reginald, Nia Jax is with Reginald, taking him suit shopping. Shayna's there, but just on her phone, completely ignoring Reginald. She doesn't like Reginald, obviously. Nia loves watching Reginald model new looks for her. All sorts of different suits. And this goes on for way too long. It's like 5, 6, 7 suits Reginald's wearing. And we're just watching this little man parade these suits back and forth. And Nia's like, oh, what a nice suit. I don't know what the hell that was. Nia slaps his butt. And then she finds a suit that she likes. And then he does a backflip right into her lap. And Reggie says, oh, what can I possibly do to repay you, Nia? And he speaks French, and he is obviously not French. As a man who speaks French and knows what a French person sounds like and knows what a French accent sounds like, he is neither from France, nor from Quebec, nor from New Brunswick, nor from any fucking where they speak French. He's not Cameroonian. I don't know where the fuck he's from. He's American. I do know where the fuck he's from. He's American. But he does not speak French. I mean, he might speak a little bit of French, but he's not French. It's possible he speaks French because he does throw in like a bunch of French sentences. He did work for Cirque du Soleil before, which, you know, a lot of French people work for that company. It's a Quebec-based, at least it was at one time. You know, a lot of French Canadians working for Cirque du Soleil. A lot of people speak French in that thing. So it's possible Reginald, the real man, whatever his name is, picked up French. Maybe he does speak French, but he is not French, if you know what I mean. He's not from France. He's not from Quebec. I don't know, you know. He might speak a bit of French, though, because he was speaking French to Nia Jax. I don't know. Maybe he just gets words given to him by Kevin Owens. I'm not really sure how it works. But Reginald asked Nia what he could possibly do to repay her for all these nice clothes that she's bought for him. And Nia gets this sexy look in her eye, and then there's sexy music playing. And we go to Corey Graves and Michael Cole or whoever that are like, oh, I guess Nia's going to fuck that guy.
They didn't say that.
Well, they didn't say that, but they kind of alluded to it. They basically said that without saying it outright, right? Oh, Nia's going to fuck Reggie. I just feel like it's kind of offensive for Nia Jax. Like, the only guy that she could get on the whole roster is this shitty little twerp who loses to Sasha Banks in a match. He's not even a real wrestler. He wrestles in the women's division. And the only way that she could get even this fucking loser is by buying him a bunch of suits. It just makes Nia seem sad. And of course, Of course, why are they doing this to Nia? Because she's bigger, you know what I mean? Of course, Nia can't get a man. The only man she could get is Reginald, and she's got to buy him suits to get him. She's so horny because no one will fuck her, so she's got to buy a suit to fuck Reginald. Like, it's just sad. It's offensive, really.
It's kind of twisted. I didn't see it like that whatsoever.
I did.
Wow. Okay. Well, I saw it in the sense where she saw this guy was kind of pathetic because like nobody wanted him, so she actually like felt sympathetic towards him.
No, she likes him. You kidding? She's talking about how cute he is. She's slapping his butt. She's buying him suits. She loves him. She's into him. She's into
that's
him.
Developed.
That's her boyfriend now. She's his sugar mama. It's a sugar mama, sugar baby relationship. Reginald is a sugar baby.
Situational ship.
What does that mean?
Whatever the heck they said it means. Like, I don't understand that whatsoever, but that's what they said.
Nia buys him shit and he does things to her. That seems to be the message that they were giving us, which is odd.
Well, they gave us mixed signals.
Why did they give us a whole fucking Reginald fashion show on Smackdown? How about that? How about why the fuck am I watching this little dude try on suits on a wrestling show?
Well, it's a romance, so you need to see a lot of that, no?
No.
I mean, we saw so much like Lana and Bobby Lashley like last year, so now you're going to have to get a lot of this now.
I don't need to see a lot of this. I'm good. And then there was more Reginald. More Reginald. Tamina and Natalya beat Sasha and Bianca. Reginald distracts Sasha at ringside. Natty hits Sasha from behind. Pretty rough, whatever, forearm or whatever Natty did to Sasha. You see Sasha's head like whip back there? That was good. And then Bianca got distracted by everything going on, and she gets rolled up by Tamina for the loss. So Tamina and Natty beat Sasha and Bianca. Tamina rolling up Bianca. Bianca gets all mad, blames Sasha for the loss, even though she's the one that got pinned. And Reggie blows a kiss to an angry-looking Sasha after the match. Oh, by the way, before this, we had a huge, long promo with all these people involved, right? Kevin Owens hosts the Kevin Owens Show. Kevin says the past few months have been a physical and emotional roller coaster, and he thought he was at the top, and now he's back at the bottom, but he knows he'll be back again, and, oh, well, tonight's not about me. It's about my guest tonight. I was in the world title program for months. I lost the last match I was in. I've disappeared for a while. Now I'm back to host this segment with Reginald and Nia and Sasha and Bianca. What kind of shit is that for Kevin Owens? One of the best wrestlers in your company, a guy that was in your main events, a guy that carried your champion to his best matches, comes back to be an interviewer for Sasha and fucking Bianca. Pardon me? Quoi?
Well, I really felt that he helped with this promo a lot because I feel like Sasha and Bianca, there has been good promo so far, but I felt he helped set it up.
He did the whole promo.
Build up a lot of good tension. Half the promo. He did half the promo.
He did the whole promo. Bianca shows up. There's a fake EST chant, which is so dumb. Sasha shows up. Kevin thanks the boss for being there and all the paychecks. Kevin asks about them possibly walking into WrestleMania as the tag team champions. He says that the only people that have ever done that in the main event of Mania were John Cena and Shawn Michaels walking in as tag team champions to face each other. And that's a pretty big company to be in here. Kevin talks about them losing at the Chamber to Nia and Shayna when they had their first chance and saying, you know, whatever's going on there with Sasha and Reginald. And then finally, Sasha and Bianca take over the promo after Kevin does, I'd say, 75% of it. Sasha's like, well, I can't help looking this good, and Reginald wants me. And Bianca's like, look, you keep entertaining him, you keep leading him on, and that's why he hangs around and he costs us our matches. And then Sasha's like, look, I'm the Michael Jordan of this division, and maybe one day you could be the LeBron James. Maybe. And you wouldn't be anywhere without the path that I paved for you, da-da-da. And then Nia and Shayna show up with Reginald, and they say nothing. And Tamina and Nia show up, and Natty show up for the match. So you realize, okay, they're all coming out because the next segment's here. So Nia and Shayna are in commentary, and Tamina and Natty are there to wrestle. They get the win. And like I said, Bianca got rolled up by Tamina after getting distracted by Sasha, who got distracted by Reginald. And Bianca backstage afterwards still blaming Sasha for the loss. And Sasha's like, look, I'm not going to take the blame because you took the L. Rookie. Calls her a rookie and walks away. Which, I'm glad they did that. It kind of made it make sense because Bianca continuing to blame Sasha for a match that Bianca herself lost didn't really add up. So that was good.
Well, there was the interference, and that was kind of Sasha's fault, but whatever. I mean,
what do you
right
mean?
In a sense, too. Reginald got on the apron. Reginald was only there because, Sasha, pretty much.
Yeah, that's not Sasha's fault.
Well, that's the whole story, is the fact that Sasha, is kind of obsessed with Reginald. Like, that's what Bianca believes.
Right,
so.
But Bianca got pinned.
Right, but she believes, this is her belief anyways in the story, is that if Sasha wasn't obsessed with Reginald, then they would have been more focused and there wouldn't have been a problem. They wouldn't have lost.
WWE wrestlers are the least focused athletes on the planet. Least focused. No one is less focused than a WWE wrestler. Somebody outside the ring just talking can lead to a distraction and them losing a match. Just talking. Shelton Benjamin, this week on Raw, got distracted by Kofi just talking to him outside the ring. Having a conversation. Got rolled up by Xavier Woods. Just talking. These are the least focused athletes on the planet. Could you imagine if other pro athletes were this ill-disciplined and lacked focus this much? Imagine a major league pitcher on the mound. Imagine. And some player on the other team goes, "Oh, you suck." And every time he says that, he throws it into the stands. Because that's what's happening in the WWE. Imagine, I know a lot of Canadians watch this show, imagine a hockey player coming down the ice at the goalie, and then another hockey player on his team going, "Hey, goalie!" And the goalie goes, "Huh?" And then they shoot the puck in the net, and they score. Imagine that happening in real sports. Now turn your attention to the WWE and ask yourself, does this shit make sense? Does it make sense that so many of these stupid motherfuckers are distracted constantly? How many distraction finishes? I don't think there's ever a WWE show that goes by without at least one. I don't think we've seen a wrestling show from WWE without at least one distraction finish. I would say in years. I'd give it years. Because that's how they get out. That's their way out. Because it's lazy booking. They have no other ideas. So they just do distraction finishes. They do this 50-50 booking where, they don't want anybody to look too weak in a real loss. So how did you lose? Oh, well, you didn't really lose. You got distracted by somebody outside the ring. What were they doing? They were talking. Oh, well, shit. No one can ever wrestle with somebody talking outside the ring. It's not like they're fans ringside yelling all sorts of shit to the wrestlers, usually, non-pandemic times, Why don't the fans ringside cause as much distraction as the wrestlers ringside when they're just talking? It's absolutely ridiculous. It is ridiculous that the WWE wrestlers are this often distracted. And it's become so commonplace that at this point, Bianca is so indoctrinated into the WWE system that she's like, oh, well, of course I lost. I was distracted by Reginald and you, Sasha, so it's your fault because you're the one who brings Reginald around, and I got distracted by him because I can't focus on a match. You expect me to focus on my opponent? What are you, crazy? Imagine this in professional sports.
He did get on the ring apron. It's not like he just talked from ringside. Like, he was on the ring apron.
Kofi wasn't on Raw. I mean, I'm not talking about this instance particularly, even though it is a pretty good example. Think about everything. Think about everything.
Yeah, they use the distraction finishes a lot, and yeah, they abuse it sometimes, sure.
It's dumb. It's really dumb. Distraction finishes constantly in the WWE. And it happened again tonight. And, of course, it was Sasha's fault. So, Sasha, do you think Sasha and Bianca walk into WrestleMania as tag team champions?
No, it's not really necessary, and you need a tag team title match, I think, because there's going to be a bunch of women that don't have a match, so you're going to need a tag team title match, I think.
I agree with you. Nia might be challenging Sasha one-on-one for the SmackDown title, though, as Reginald suggested that Nia challenge for the title next week, and she could walk in double champ at WrestleMania, so that might happen next week. Could be a pretty big SmackDown.
It will happen.
Is that official? Yeah. Nia and Sasha for the SmackDown Women's title, and Edge versus Jey Uso. Winner is the special enforcer for the Roman Reigns Daniel Bryan title match. It's two big matches on SmackDown. They got some big matches on Raw too, right? Don't they have Matt Riddle defending his title
against Ali?
Against Ali, and then the SmackDown tag titles are being defended too, right?
The Raw tag titles are defended.
Right. Sorry, the Raw tag team titles. I'm blanking on who are the champions right now.
Her Business?
Oh, yeah. Against New Day, of course. New Day? You think Kofi and Woods take the belts back here? Why not? They're the best ever.
It's too soon if they do. I think they should. Her Business should hang on to it for a little bit. I mean, Bobby just won the WWE title. Why take the titles away from him? I mean, it's going to happen, but I think it's too soon.
All right, well, I just think the New Day is fantastic. We saw another example of that tonight. Big E comes out with a hell of a promo. Might have been the promo of the night. Big E comes out with a neck brace and a walking boot and a crutch, but he gets rid of all of it. He's not hurt. He's fine after the beating he took from Apollo a couple weeks ago. Big E with a passionate promo talks about being laid up in a medical facility because of Apollo. He says, Apollo, you opened Pandora's box and there's no coming back from what you've done. It's an eye for an eye now. You step on my lawn and I bulldoze your house. Big E says beating Apollo now isn't enough. He has to end him. He can't just beat him in a match. He has to finish Apollo. Big E wants Apollo right now. He doesn't want to wait. But Apollo doesn't come out. Big E then says, okay, well, if Apollo won't come out, then I will issue an open challenge, and anybody can come out here and challenge me for my Intercontinental Championship. King Corbin shows up in a suit, and he says, oh, I'm not dressed to fight, but if I have to damage this $10,000 suit and this whatever Rolex, then maybe. And then Sami Zayn shows up, and he's like, no. You're not dressed to compete. I am. I'm here. I'm ready to go. I accept the open challenge. And Corbin's like, no, I was about to accept it. And Sami's like, no. But you did it, and I'm doing it. It's my match. And then Big E's like, look, whoever gets in the ring first gets the match. So Sami runs in the ring, and Big E beats him up a little bit. So Sami has won the match, but then he rolls out of the ring after taking a bit of a beating from Big E, and Corbin starts yelling at Sami. We go to commercial break. We come back. Big E gets the win over Sami to retain the Intercontinental Championship, gets the win by pinfall, hits the big ending. I thought the match was solid. I really liked it. I don't know about you, but it comes down to this or the 8-man for match of the night tonight. 8-man was pretty good, but I liked the Big E Sami thing, especially with the promo. The match was not as long as it could have been, but I really enjoyed it. I'm giving this match of the night. What do you think?
I think I'd have to go more with the 8-man. I thought the 8-man, there was a lot more action. It was longer. My main problem with the Intercontinental title match was just the finish kind of came out of nowhere. There was no like build up to the finish. It was kind of just like, well, he beats him. That's it.
I like the sunset flip powerbomb that Sammy did. That was pretty cool. But yeah, it could have been a little bit more. I thought the 8-man was good, but I don't know. I'm a sucker for Sammy and Big E. What can I say?
So you're going to take over who you like over the quality of the wrestling.
No, I thought they had a
You just
quality
said it.
match. It just wasn't that long.
Well, you said the 8-man was a better wrestling match.
Well, it had more time to kind of tell a better story. But, I don't know. Yeah, okay,
Had
fine.
more people.
Yeah, it had more people, but it also had Dominic Mysterio, and you lose points when you have a match with Dominic Mysterio.
He didn't look that bad, though. I mean, you hide him.
I know, but still. I like the whole Big E segment. You know, it wasn't just about the match. It was about the promo before. It was about everything afterwards. It was about Sammy showing up. Sammy's so good. He's so entertaining. It was about the facial expression that Sammy did. Do you see Sammy's face as they went to a commercial break mid-match? Like, he got Big E. Big E, he did his splash. I don't know. They did a lot in that match. I think you're underestimating the match. Big E goes to do his splash on the apron. Sammy rolls out of the way. Big E misses, hits the apron, bumps outside the ring. And then Sammy's face when he's just like kind of out of it, but he realizes like, oh, Big E's like in trouble. He kind of like does this crazy smile. Fantastic. Cracked me up, man. It's not necessarily about the length of the match or all the things that they do. It's about, you know, the facial expressions, how you lay it out, and some of the big moves. And I thought the big moves there were more memorable. The splash that Big E missed. The sunset flip powerbomb that Sammy did. The big ending that Big E hit to finish the match. I liked it. Apollo Crews music hits after the match. Big E's looking for him, can't find him. Apollo hits from behind, puts the boots to E, gives him a couple angle slams. I guess that's Apollo's new move, the angle slam. And then he kept yelling at him in the African accent, so Apollo's not dropped that. He's still using that accent, even when he's off mic yelling. Crews tossed the ring steps in and rammed Big E in the arm with them, so he hits Big E in with the ring steps again. Big E takes a bump, rolls outside the ring, sells. Crews stands on top of the ring steps in the middle of the ring. Do you do Crews versus Big E at Fastlane for the Intercontinental title? I mean, I would. Why not? You're right in the middle of it here. Let's go.
I feel like that's too soon. And you just did the thing where Big E got hurt again, and he was going into that match already hurt. So it's a little too unbelievable that he's going to be wrestling again on Sunday.
Why? He's got like a week to recover, and all he did was take one shot to the shoulder. He just wrestled this Friday. You know, he wrestled tonight. He doesn't have to wrestle next Friday. You give him what, 9 days between matches? He took one shot to the arm. What are you with selling these injuries for? Why do you want everybody to sell injuries? You're like, oh, Sheamus and Drew shouldn't wrestle again on Raw or at Fastlane because they both got fake concussed on Raw on Monday. Even though, like, why not? And I reminded you, John, we talked about this after the show, I think, on Wednesday. I reminded you that Liv Morgan was knocked out on Raw, concussed, and 12 days later wrestled on a pay-per-view in the ring in a match at a Super Showdown in 2018, I think it was. So don't tell me that you can't be fake concussed. What?
Whoa. That was a flash knockout because not only did she get up afterwards during the same match, she also did moves in that said match. They removed her when they felt it was like unnecessary for her to be out there.
Can I remind you, though, John? Here's the big difference. Liv actually got knocked out. Sheamus and Drew were selling, John. It's fake. They could wrestle now. They're fine.
Down.
It's fake.
We never saw them get up. If you're going to sell a story.
Exploded to death. Eddie Kingston exploded to death on a Sunday night. Wednesday night, he's shooting his shit, drinking with Jon Moxley on a couch. Totally fine. Bullshit. Rey Mysterio lost an eye. It grew back. You're going to tell me Drew McIntyre and Sheamus can do a double knockout finish on Raw and can't wrestle again the next week because they're too concussed? Get the fuck out of here, man. It's fake.
They can, but they shouldn't.
It's fake.
It's ridiculous. Like, Drew McIntyre wrestles with a broken jaw, and then Finn Balor, who actually has a broken jaw, doesn't wrestle for almost 2 months because that's what happens when you have a broken jaw. You can't wrestle.
Well, yeah.
It's ridiculous when you have real injuries, and then when you have these fake injuries, you don't sell them right.
Well, you shouldn't. They're fake. You got to sell real injuries.
Sell them.
Well, they shouldn't have fake injuries.
You should sell the fake ones, too.
No, you shouldn't. I mean, yeah, I guess you should, but they have so many. And, like, why can't you just say that this was a flash knockout? Sheamus and Drew, flash knockout. They were fine.
Because they never got up. They were left laying, and we never found out what happened to them. There was no update whatsoever. At least with Liv, you saw her get up, you saw her take moves, and then they said, oh, she left the match.
I don't know.
At least there was some sort of update. There was no update with this. They were just left dead.
I still haven't seen Shaq. Where's Shaq?
Well, whatever. Shaq just disappeared, and Shaq will teleport when he wants to teleport again.
Randy Orton killed a man on pay-per-view. Burned him alive. Black shit comes out of his mouth. Black shit comes out of his mouth all the time. Randy's allowed to wrestle with black shit coming out of his mouth. Nobody seems to mind Randy wrestling while he has a voodoo hex put on him. What are you talking about? It's all oh, yeah, he should have stopped the match when the black shit came out. Of course. Of course.
They should have, yes.
If a UFC fight was going on and one of the fighters had black ooze dripping out of his mouth, don't you think the ref would at least stop to call the doctor in? Not in the WWE. They're like, oh, Randy's got black shit out of his mouth. Look out, there's AJ Styles with a phenomenal forearm. Wha-boom! 1, 2, 3, I guess. Fuck it.
Yeah, that was BS. That was stupid. I hated that.
I mean, how come nobody asked Randy what it tastes like? How does it feel? Where does it come from, this black stuff that's coming out of your mouth? It happens to him often enough. You would think he'd have experience. He could explain a little bit what's going on, what he feels when it happens. It's kind of a paranormal activity. You would think somebody, Kayla, might ask him, hey, what's that shit taste like, Randy? How does it feel when it's coming out of your mouth? Well, what's the deal? Where do you think it's coming from? What's happening there? But everybody's like, no, just keep wrestling. It's fine. What?
It's just too bad they don't sell enough.
They just sell weird stuff. I mean, they make shit up. It's too bad they don't sell the black ooze enough. They should sell the black ooze harder.
No, but if Randy is actually coughing that up, you stop the match. No, like you just said, it's ridiculous that they let that go on.
Well, it's very ridiculous. It's all ridiculous, John. It's the WWE. Good God Almighty. I will be back here Monday night right after Raw to recap Raw, to tell you what happened on Raw, and so on. Whatever happens, happens. Don't forget to check out our sponsor. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code Ringside20. You get 20% off your order. You get free shipping. It helps you. It helps you out. It helps everybody. Go to manscaped.com. Use that promo code Ringside20. You could also sign up with SiriusXM. Get your first 3 months of streaming for only $1 on SiriusXM, which is a hell of a deal. It's a great service. Go to sirius.ringsidereport.net. Sign up right now. New sponsor, SiriusXM. Welcome to the show. Sirius.ringsidereport.net to sign up right now. And, of course, you can always go to ringsidereport.net for everything that we do. All the things, all the shows, everything. We are always here. We are here after Raw. We're here after SmackDown. We're here after AEW Dynamite every Wednesday night. And, of course, every Thursday night at 8 p.m., we break down everything in the world of mixed martial arts with Ringside Report MMA. And I think we'll be doing our next Ringside Report MMA UFC watch-along in a couple weeks. Not this Saturday. It'll be on March 27th for UFC 260, Stipe versus Ngannou 2. Hell yeah. Heavyweight championship of the world. For more, follow us over at Ringside Report on Twitter and Instagram. Ringside Report on Twitter and Instagram. You'll be able to catch Dave's parlay. Win with Dave over at bet99.com. Team Dave. Team Dave. Bet99.com. Use that promo code Ringside when you sign up. You get a matching bonus of up to $600 on your first deposit. Ringside is the promo code over at bet99.com. Bet with Dave. Go with Dave's parlay for the UFC fights tomorrow night. Team Dave, 2 weeks in a row. We've been winning money. Team Dave. Right, Johnny? You know the catchphrase. You're down with Team Dave. You're on Team Dave. Don't tell me you're on Team AJ. Don't tell me that.
Well, I find I've told you this before. I find for the pay-per-views are pretty good. The fight nights, though, it's hit or miss, though.
I was 6-0 last fight night. I was 3-0 for the pay-per-view last week.
That's a hit, but it's not always a hit. I mean, let's not forget Overing.
Could you just tell me that you're on Team Dave or what?
I'd have to look it up again. I didn't see what you guys
Team Dave. Don't forget to like this video. Like this video right now. Right now. I want to see you liking it. Like the video. More likes. More likes. And subscribe. And when you subscribe, click the bell so you get notifications every time that we are on. Don't forget to become a member of the channel. There's going to be some exclusive stuff for the members coming up, okay? Okay? In the works. I was doing some planning today. We did a few tests today. We're doing some work on the production side of the show. There's always new stuff going on. And let me tell you that if you're a member, you will be getting more content soon. Very soon. Our YouTube members will be getting extra content that those people, if you're not a member, well, whoops. You'll still get what you get now, but the extra stuff you're not going to get. And the extra stuff is going to be really good. Okay? It's going to be really good because it's just for the members, so we're going to, you know, hammer it home. Maybe we'll give you some winners only on the members only show, right? So there's going to be some special content just for the members, and that's coming soon to the Ringside Report Network. So I'm telling you, you want to become a member of the YouTube channel. You also want to become a member over at donate.ringsidereport.net, donate.ringsidereport.net, and get yourself some cool merch. Get yourself a cup with my face on it and Fred's face on it and AJ's face and everything. Get yourself a cup. I got this mug right here. I'm drinking out of it. It is fantastic. It's a fantastic experience. Go do it over at merch.ringsidereport.net. That's a good cup. That's it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We love you. Thank you, Doug Hepburn. You're a member. Shout out to Doug. Shout out to Derek John. Sugar Mama Naya. I like that, Derek John. Shout out to Derek John. Doug Hepburn, who I think I saw Patrick C. Hamilton on the chat, Craig Paquette, all the members. Shout out to the members, and get ready. There's going to be some good stuff coming for you guys real soon. Mako8033, I see you. Become a member. I see you on all the shows. You should become a member. You are going to want some stuff. I see you on the chat all the time, Mako. Become a member. Lauren Cronish, shout out to you. Become a member. There's going to be some bonus stuff coming here, guys. You're going to want to become a member for this. Believe me. Become a member over on the YouTube channel. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll talk to you again soon. I'll be back Monday night right after Raw.